Americans will say water and Brits say water, and Australians go water. That's not the way the Brits do it. They like to bottle it right up. What happened to you guys that didn't happen to the rest of the UK? Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, I am Yvette and I moved to the UK in May this year, so about 6 months ago, more than that, can't count anymore. In this video, I wanted to go through some of the things I don't understand about Brits. Now, there are so many things I do understand and that I love about British culture, but there are some things that I just don't understand. Sometimes they're positive, I just don't understand why, and sometimes they're negative. So I thought I would make a video about my questions and you guys can let me know in the comments below your opinions and you can answer them. You can enlighten me so that these are the things I will understand about Brits, but right now, these are the things I don't. So this is, my first one is like I'd love to get feedback on because it is having a stiff upper lip, which is something Brits are known for. Having a stiff upper lip is something Brits are known for. However, I don't know if that's a stereotype or if it's in the younger generations as much, because everything I've read and people who have kids tell me that the younger generations are really good at talking about their feelings, whereas the Brits traditionally do not. And I'm an advocate for just being direct and saying it how it is, which obviously doesn't happen because the Brits love to beat around the bush a little bit. I just think everything would be a lot easier and resolved a lot faster if you just talked about your problems, but that's not the way the Brits do it. They like to bottle it right up and be passive aggressive, which, look, don't get me wrong, passive aggressiveness at the right point, at the right time. I like a bit of passive aggressive. Some road justice, I like it. But big issues, let's talk about them, get it resolved, move on. Because I feel like if you just hold on to it, you're just hurting yourself, and what's the point in that? The second one is the weather. I think I mentioned this in like almost every video. However, Brits always complain about the weather, and I've only had the summer, so I'm sure a lot of you will be like, wait till the winter, blah, 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 gloom and doom. However, I'm filming this in October. It has hardly rained since I moved here in May. I'm sure, no doubt that November and December are going to be cold and rainy. However, with Christmas, it all kind of justifies it in my opinion almost, because you can have like Christmas lights, ice skating, mulled wine, hot chocolate, like lots of fun activities and tropes that you can buy into. Australia doesn't get that. Our winter is just cold. Not really, not even that cold. While the weather's not great, I think it facilitates some good things, so I don't think it's that bad. I can understand January, February, maybe even March being a bit cold and depressing, but even if that is the case, that's only 3 months out of a year. So it's 10 months-ish of good weather. But the amount, which is fine, obviously everywhere's gonna have ups and downs. I complain more about the heat in Australia than the cold, so I understand each to their own. Each area has the positive and negative, but just the sheer volume of like, the Brits love to put the weather down, and I'm like, it's genuinely so nice. The other weekend it was 26 degrees in autumn, like that's summer. Maybe it's changing with global warming, I don't know, but I just find it so bizarre because even at work, one of the girls said, oh, I'm sorry your first summer was so wet and rainy, and I'm like, it hasn't rained. What are you talking about? I think she may, actually she was from the south. I understand it did rain a bit this year up north. I know there was some flooding. But the girl who said it was from Surrey. Like it didn't rain. A good indicator is that I have a dog. Ta-da! She's joined for the video. Obviously being in an apartment, I take her out to the park twice a day to go to the bathroom, and sometimes in the middle if she wants to go. Taking the dog out to the loo in the rain is obviously a pain. Poet, didn't even know it. Because I have to like dry her and get muddy paws sorted out and all that kind of stuff. So it sticks in my mind when there's a rainy day because it causes a lot of flow-on effects for me with the dog. It's happened twice. I can only remember twice that she's had to go out in the rain and then I've had to like, you know, wash her or clean the mud off or whatever it is. So it's only been an issue twice. It's like not that big a problem. I don't know, just the amount they go on versus the actuality of the weather doesn't seem aligned. Not saying the weather's perfect, but I'm saying you complain more than the weather's bad. Yeah? Maybe it's global warming. On the note of weather, the UK seems to have 4 seasons in a day, and I say this as not just a Londoner. I've had this when I was working up in Preston's up north, so like north of Manchester. It's like rainy in the morning, and then by the afternoon it's warm and sunny, you know? So in Australia, when the weather's bad, it rains for a week. When the weather is good, it's just sunny for a week. We don't have seasons in one day, so might lead into how I said the Brits will say they complain about the rain, but maybe like the second it rains, say in the morning before they're awake, or at night, they'll say, oh, it was a bad day, it rained. And I'm like, it only rained for like 10 minutes, it doesn't matter. If it rains for a week, then you'll know about it, because that's what I've had to live with in Australia in the summer. Believe it or not, the summers in Australia are very wet. This is my favourite thing. I know there's a big debate in the UK about where the north actually starts, like what's the Midlands, where's the line, all that kind of stuff. I think the north starts when people start saying, oh hiya, when you enter a store, because that's my favourite and I love it so much. Whenever I go up, when I'm working up in Preston's, like I said, people are hiya, hiya, it's so sweet and I love it. And the second you leave London, that's when it starts happening. They also go, you alright, the alright, and like, I understand it now because I live here, but it is odd when you think about it, like you're just saying a word like, okay, it's not really a question, but everyone kind of gets it. I just think it's funny that everyone's on the same page without actually having to ask a question, and it's just, I'd love to know how that actually originated, if you at all know. I don't know if it's one of those like weird superstition things that, you know, no one knows the origins of, but I think it's interesting and so sweet and representative of kind of like the people and the culture that it just happens so regularly that like asking are you all right or how are you became such shorthand. My next one's more practical, but I'm sure you'll agree. Listen, it's 2019. Why do we still have separate hot and cold taps? I know why, I know it was Victorian, I know the pipes, that was the technology at the time, but surely it's time to upgrade them. I'm not saying get heated floorboards and heated tiles and a heated toilet seat, whatever else you want in a fancy bathroom, but I don't think it's too much to ask for a single tap, because like trying to change hands between the 2 taps is crazy annoying. I don't understand how, like 1 month of me doing that, I would have had them changed. It bothers me that much. One of the other things, I don't understand how it happened, but I love it, is accents. One thing within the UK is that there's such diversity, and I'm talking just within the Brits, I'm not even talking about like immigration. So if you compare Manchester to the Cotswolds, it's like a different country. If you compare Newcastle to Oxford, they're completely different. You can travel within the UK and have completely different experiences, and it's like traveling to a different country. And along with that is the accents. I'm still attuning my ear to be able to hear all the differences. Like I could tell like a northern accent easy. Like if you say us, that's definitely a northern thing. My boss is northern, and the hires. If you're from Manchester, there's like something with the G, like longer. But yes, I can tell little bits. Oh, and a Welsh accent. I can't do a Welsh accent, but I love it. It's so melodic. Can I speak English anymore? Like it has a fun melody to it, so fun. And obviously Scottish accent, so fun. My sister-in-law is Scottish, so with a wee bit this and all that kind of stuff, and I can't do the R of Scottish accent, but it's so fun. And then obviously if you go south, or even if you want to go into, even within London really, there's so many different accents. So you've got like the Queen, who's like, yes, super posh. And then you got like a South London accent, like the people that say Bath instead of Bath, you know, all that kind of stuff. I find it so interesting. So if you know it all, and I find it so interesting just how accents develop in general globally. Like why do Americans say the R and we don't? Why do Australians say a D instead of a T? So we say water, not water. So Brits will say, that's my control word for 3 accents is water. So Brits will put an A on the end, but Americans put a D in the middle, and Australians do both. So we mix it up. So Americans will say water and Brits say water, and Australians go water. It's just like all 3. So like where did that happen and how did that happen? And that's just a general British accent. It's not even if you want to bring into like how Manchester would say water. I don't even know. But I find the whole thing fascinating, and I'd love to know if there's any Anglophiles out there that know why accents develop differently in different regions when we're all essentially the same. I'd love to know. I find it fascinating and it's so fun. And I love learning more and more about the different parts to hear differences in the accent. Obviously there's a big difference between like an Essex accent and like Scottish, but you know what I mean? Just the stuff in the Midlands I get a bit confused, but I'm getting better. Love Island helped a lot because they're often proud of wherever they're from, like Liverpool. I always think Liverpool's like Lister from Red Dwarf, which is a very old reference if anyone gets it. That's how I imagine the Liverpool accent. Or a Beetle, they're also really good. But yeah, I love the accents and it's so fun to learn the intricacies. My last one is Bonfire Night, and this purely comes from me being an ignorant immigrant. 4th of November, Bonfire Night. Something to do with V for Vendetta. Guy Fawkes tries to blow Parliament up, fails. That's all my knowledge. My question, 1, am I right? 2, if I am right, why are we celebrating a terrorist? Question. Also, if you are from the London area or know anything, because this is where I work and live, is there any festivities I can go and be involved in for Bonfire Night? Because that would be really, really fun and I'd love to do that, to be fully indoctrinated. I don't know, so obviously Christmas, I know like a Christmas tradition, or like Thanksgiving, I know what they do. What's the tradition of Bonfire Night? I need to know. I need to know so that I can get assimilated into British culture and not miss out, because I don't want to have to wait till next year to celebrate. One other thing I don't understand about Brits is, I'm going to say Brits, but I actually mean Welsh. Welsh are so proud, which is great. Power to you. Whatever floats your boat. But why are the Welsh so much more exorbitantly more proud than the rest of the UK? So I never see Northern Ireland making a fuss. Scotland, only if you ask them or it's like a sporting thing do I see them like sounding off. But like the Welsh, any excuse to like slide it in, they're like dragons, Welsh cake. Which is great, power to you, like I said, but why? Like what happened to make Welsh so staunch in their nationality? I love you guys, your accents are great, we've been through this. It's one of the best road trips I've done. But why are you so passionate? You know? Not that you shouldn't be. What happened to you guys that didn't happen to the rest of the UK? So that is it for this video. Hopefully you can enlighten me in the comments below and answer some of my questions, and make me feel a bit more included in the British culture. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and remember to hit subscribe so I can see you next time. And basically just using this as a forum to answer all my questions because you've been so helpful so far. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you next time.